guys, what's up? We are back again in the studio, this time coming at you from Latvia, broadcasting, from Mr. Freeze's home country. Another episode of Critical Comix coming at you guys today. This is Corey, master of all four elements, Carter.
This is Jonathan Crane, the master of fear.
And of course, Fred Freeze, a.k.a. Doom.
And guys, we are here with two special guests this time around. Please introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Bug. I am still kidnapped.
Hello, Bug. I am P. I am actually Bug's friend, and I'm here to rescue her. And I put a lot of time into my 12-point plan, but so far I'm only on page 1.5, and it's not going very well. So let's just do this.
We still have snacks.
We still have snacks. That from the last time got eaten, I would hope, mostly by me. But this time, P was the one who brought them in this time around.
You have a lot of ants.
Somebody was going to eat the snacks. Nature decided it was going to be ants. So I guess that's what it was. So here we are today with another review, and this time we are reviewing Wonder Woman. We are reviewing DC's Wonder Woman, and I have to say, at this point, dear God in heaven, it's about fucking time. As far as the DC movies, it's about goddamn time. I finally walked out of a DC film and felt good, and felt like it was a great movie.
Yeah, this was like a crowning achievement for them, wasn't it? Like you didn't hurl afterwards, okay?
I'll say this: it's so good you could almost mistake it for a Marvel movie.
Yeah, I can actually mistake it for a specific Marvel movie. I don't know if they meant to do this, but Captain America: The First Avenger.
I
What?
caught that too.
Oh, what? There are a lot of similarities,
yes,
right?
I saw that with the Shield.
Everything about it,
But
you know?
it was like so, yes.
Especially with the photo. It's like when they took
Yeah.
the old photo and she's reminiscing about the photo. It's like, oh, these are my old friends. It's that guy who couldn't shoot that time, and it's my one true love and all of
Yes,
that. Yeah.
it's Wonder Woman and her Howling Commandos. I
Yes.
mean,
The one thing I will give it is the fact that I was finally connected to a DC movie.
finally,
Because most of the time in a DC movie, I actually feel like a watcher from the Marvel universe. I'm just watching what goes on. I have no real tie-in, whatever. It's like, but this finally drew me in a little bit. It made me actually care about the characters. It made me interested in it. One thing I'll say about the shield and the sword, that's part of the comic modern incarnation of Wonder Woman.
True.
Now, the adding of the Howling Commando cast, besides Steve Trevor, was not.
Are we gonna keep calling them the Howling Commandos? Because
Well,
that's not who they are. That's Captain America's crew. Just to clarify.
Well, actually, that's Nick Fury's crew.
Well, that's true.
And they
That's
just
true.
kind of threw them around Captain America or somewhere within the Shield armada. But we'll just get into that later.
Now, I would like to point out that P and I have not actually read the Wonder Woman comics. But we are of the female variety, so our opinions on this matter now.
Wait, the two women in the room haven't read the Wonder Woman
I
comics?
know.
How dare you?
I know, it's terrible.
As your official vagina guides, we're here to help. And
Actually, it was found that one time, there's just like with Barbie, there's a lot of LGBT men that actually collected a lot of Barbie. There was a lot of LGBT men that actually collected a lot of Wonder Woman comics as well.
So it was mostly
Over
gay
the
men
years.
who actually loved.
But I'm not gonna say mostly, because there's of course a huge swaths of women that were into Wonder Woman. So we're not saying that mostly. I wouldn't say that, but there's a good portion.
So they still had a big fan base in the LGBT.
Yes.
yeah, so since we haven't grown up with Wonder Woman, like, I'm not really even privy to the TV series that was out with Linda Carter. Like, I know.
Fred over here curbing his
I've
heart.
wounded Fred.
Sorry, Fred, you're the old man in this crew, man. I can't help that.
So yeah, I had to go do some research, which was annoying. And so what I really enjoyed finding out was about the creator of Wonder Woman, whose name was William Moulton Marston. He actually had a law degree, a PhD in psychology, and he created the first systolic blood pressure test, which is basically the precursor to a lie detector test.
Yes.
So he had a for real lasso.
So
of truth.
he made his own lasso of truth,
I know.
his own version,
Oh, that's so cool.
like a real version.
So I loved that, and apparently he was actually a feminist, and
Yes,
he
he
got
was.
hired by Marvel to be on the panel for creating Wonder Woman. And I was like, that's so cool. I was expecting it to be this horrible U.S. propaganda thing that's like, oh yeah, America's so awesome, whatever.
Do it for the troops because dames love it.
Yeah.
Oh, let's draw a scantily clad woman in American colors. Everyone will love it.
So I don't know if the movie.
And they kind of did. They kinda,
That's kind of a part of it
We all
too.
did love it.
Yeah, I don't know if the movie made as big of an impression on me as like really all the history that's led up to it is way more interesting for me than the movie right now. It's
Man,
terrible.
I like almost cried 3 times. So if that tells you anything, it's a good movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a lot of fears, but for me they put my fears to rest. In fact, one of the Amazonians was Ann Wolfe, a female boxer.
Really?
Like, probably one of the best female boxer. You should watch her old fights. She's brutal. So
What's
when
her
I
name
saw
again?
her, the female from the beginning of the film, she was like kind of like the big, strong, burly.
the one with
female.
the one with the battle axe.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a lot of fans.
I saw her put a woman to sleep. Like, it was the greatest female knockout I've ever seen.
Going night.
So that woman, she is a true warrior. So when I saw that, I'm like, they're serious.
Yeah.
They
Okay,
are not
all
joking around. They have Ann Wolfe.
They have Ann Wolfe. They actually had female athletes.
Yeah,
Which was something I didn't expect. I expected to be like a scene full of supermodels and then an opening.
I
when you
thought
saw
that they looked
Themyscira.
pretty good. I thought that overall they looked pretty good.
But they looked like warriors. That was the part that got me the most. I expected them to fill this with a bunch of supermodels and scantily clad women.
No,
with
that's not
swords,
gonna
and
work.
that's it. But
Yeah.
no, they actually got real.
I
Athletic.
saw scars.
Yes, you actually saw real athletes there. So
Mm-hmm.
that was a good thing.
What's really cool is P was telling me about this is the woman who played Diana
Gal Gadot
Gal Gadot.
or Gal
We're
Gadot.
assuming
Gal Gadot.
we're assuming it's Gal Gadot. We're
Yeah.
assuming we've heard everyone else say Gal Gadot,
My
so we're
French
gonna go with that.
heritage wants me to say Gadot.
Good Gal Gadot. Anyway,
Gal Gadot.
Gadot.
She was actually, she's in military, isn't she, P?
The Israeli military.
She's
Yeah, I heard that. She is in the
she's
Israeli
Israeli,
military.
so
She's
at-
Israeli.
Yeah, when you grow up there, it's a requirement that you join the army. So everybody that grew up there has been in the army
Oh wow.
and is
So-
trained. So she has actually been trained to fight, and she's also been a dancer for 12 years. So she's like,
Nice.
Okay.
I love communicating with my body, and it's like, shut up.
Man, okay, so my mom asked me how I was doing last night, and I told her that I was what? No, I gave you a look. Yeah, my mom asked me how I was doing last night. I was like, man, I saw Wonder Woman, and it was awesome, and it made me want to
Yeah,
do
she's
a
actually
push-up.
reading a text right now.
Yeah, no, I was like, it made me want to do a push-up. It was so awesome.
A push up.
Yeah, my mom says, lol, that's funny. Did you lust after her arms? And I said, man, that actress is hot. I was lusting after all of her. I think I might even do 2 push-ups.
Oh wow.
But
Okay.
seriously, look at this picture.
Oh well, I'm not gonna argue with that.
Look at this picture. Look at this picture. Look at that picture of that woman. And I just want to point out that even as she is squatting and making a poop face, she is pretty.
Hey, that's what I'm saying.
You're not gonna. Okay, just to preface this, you're not gonna hear a whole lot of argument on mine and Fred's part for anything against the Amazons. We're a
Exactly.
fan of warrior women.
I'm prepared to do what must be done.
Yes.
We will climb those ladies like Everest.
He is the #1 Amazon. What would you call yourself? Describe it.
Lothario, maybe?
Yes.
Lothario,
I'll
just
take Lothario. Aficionado. Yes, I'm aficionado when it comes to such
I'll
things.
race Fred to the top of that mountain. I will in a heartbeat. I will race Fred there.
Yeah, we have had like 40-minute conversation about tall girls, about girls over like 5'9".
Of course. 5'9". Yeah, I'm talking like over 6 feet. Like
Yes.
at least.
Thank you.
Death by Snoo Snoo.
Yeah.
That's it.
Death by Snoo Snoo. Yes.
That's what I want my band.
That is an
name.
honorable death.
That's
The
honorable
mind
death.
is willing, but the body is fleshy.
The mind is willing, but the body is fleshy and weak.
Sweet. Die with your skeleton with your thumbs up. Yeah. You gotta do it.
And the skeleton smiling. It's
Exactly.
smiling.
You're like, oh yes.
It's like he's dead, but
So
there was one way to
she
go.
definitely passed the eye test of Wonder Woman. You
And
know,
we knew she would. That's the thing. We all knew. You and me both predicted, Brandon, that we knew she would. We knew anybody they picked was gonna have to be supermodel, like beautiful. But
Yeah.
that's what we were worried about. Is like have all the pretty and none of the substance. And I think
Yeah.
Gal Gadot really brought it. Like,
yeah,
she very
I
much
thought that she
brought
was.
it.
I believed her. You know, I actually believed that that she could be Wonder Woman. So she actually made me believe it. I didn't think it was that awkward, except for the beginning. There were certain parts of the accents kind of
Yes.
went in and out at
Yeah.
times, you know, just to say something negative. But there were a couple of weird moments with accents, except for hers, because that's how she actually speaks. But
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
others, it's kind of like you're forcing it a little bit. But
They weren't there for long.
it's not that bad. Yes, I can live with that.
I think another pro I really had for it was the character. The character of not just Gal Gadot, but of everybody in this movie was really on point.
Yeah.
Like you felt like you cared about these damn characters. It was really funny.
The romantic tension, so much better than Beauty and the Beast.
I actually enjoyed hearing the director, Patty Jenkins. She was talking about, like, she wanted it to be kind of like Casablanca wrapped into an action film.
Which,
So she really focused on that romantic 1920, you know.
Yeah, I was feeling that.
She made it romantic, and it was fun. They were talking about Chris Pine kind of having to play this traditionally female role of that, like.
Yeah, he was.
pretty
So you're
great.
saying that Chris Pine was the damsel in distress?
He kind of was.
Yes.
He kind of was that whole time.
After she flipped the tank, he was like, "Yeah, she doesn't need my help. She doesn't need my help at all."
You know.
Yeah.
Like, nah, I'll hang back.
He's like, I'll have all of her babies. Yes.
Just another side note. I was a little bit agitated that they didn't believe her right away when she was rambling on and on about Ares. Because after you see her flip the tank, it's like, yeah, I believe whatever you say. Yeah, you literally just.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I think what it was is that before that scene, which was, my God, I have to take a side step here for just a minute and say the scene where you finally see her in full Wonder Woman gala, her full Wonder Woman outfit, sword, shield. Everything, I swear to fucking God, every single thing from the moment she does the reveal to the slow walk towards the battlefield, all of that scene is a solid 10. I cannot say that enough. That was absolutely amazing, and that blew me away. If there was never a point during that movie where I was in, like, that was it. That was it for me. Was like, I'm invested from here on out.
So turned on.
And see, I knew this because, you know, her being my favorite character from BVS, from Batman vs Superman, and seeing her do stuff like, because she had her role in that, but she didn't have a huge role.
Right.
But when it was time to fight the Doomsday character,
She was in it.
She was in there.
She was in it. She was knocking down, dragging everything.
Exactly. When Batman was like, and I'm out. Like, you know, he's like, I got this suit.
He's like, you know what? My suit's gone. I'm gonna just jump around.
And I'm out. So
Batman.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess Doomsday was like Commissioner Gordon. He just disappeared. But yeah, everything from that point on was like amazing. And really, before the lead up, I find it great that they actually used an existing trope, you know, and built off of that, the whole Casablanca thing. And that's what I always love with superhero movies. When you actually go ahead and say, okay, this is not rocket science. This is something that I wanted. Like, to me, the Suicide Squad should have took elements of the Dirty Dozen.
Yeah.
And it should have took elements of Ocean's 11. So somewhere between Ocean 11s and the Dirty Dozens, you should have got your Suicide Squad. But I don't know what they were going for.
They're
it's
comic book characters. Everyone knows this stuff already.
Exactly. So I'm like, but you still got to write a story. And that's what they did with Wonder Woman. They wrote a story. They had continuing themes throughout it. They had characters that you could get yourself into.
They didn't have her suddenly become friends with Ares by speaking Martha,
exactly,
or something like that.
Exactly, like, oh, now we're both gods and we're both going to just get along together and fly off into the sunset. And then even little things like toward the end, like when she thought the general was Ares, and she had to face her own
prejudice, so to speak.
Prejudice and lack of knowledge of the world.
That was
a beautiful thing.
Brandon, you said a minute ago before we started how this whole movie really reminded you of Captain America.
Oh yeah.
How it was taking so much from Captain America. Well, not necessarily taking so much from it, but it's like all of this was a whole, soldier out of their time, in a completely new place type of thing. And I think I honestly got that more from this than I did from the Captain America movies.
Yes.
Because it felt more genuine. It felt more like she was a product of where she came from, and she was. Her bubble of what she thought the world was supposed to be was completely burst.
Yeah, it made you kind of analyze, like, maybe we're sick, because she's actually like, why don't we help people? Why are we not doing this? Like, why are we
confused?
Why are you not, like, there are children dying? Why aren't you doing something? So it really, I think that they kind of started to consider that, like, man, yeah, I should want to do more and try to help more. Of course, she's capable of crushing everyone. So,
By the way, just a real quick side. We never seem to do this in the beginning of the episodes, but spoiler alert, like we should.
Yeah.
But I just want to say, fuck that sniper and fuck that clock tower that he was in. That's
did we
apparently
even
what
see
she
what
said.
happened to the guy? Like, I didn't even.
Do you even? Is there a guy left?
I don't even know what
I think
happened.
there's just pieces. There might be
Yeah.
pieces.
I mean, I'm thinking that she was gonna do like a kick, and the guy was.
I
gonna
thought he was
fly
like,
against
yeah, he's
the
gonna
wall.
fly outside. No, she obliterated that fucking clock
There's
tower.
nothing left of that guy.
Did you guys catch that though? The throwback, that scene when they help
From the
her-
shield,
from
the
shield for the warrior lady when
Where
he
she,
first
it
showed
showed off
on
her
the
prom,
beach.
yeah, where
so
when they
he's
found
like-
up on the beach, where
he's
you
like-
see she literally saw her teacher do that with another Amazon,
And he's
where she
like-
jumps off the shield, and he actually had that idea.
Yeah,
I thought
it's
that
his
was great
idea.
that he saw that, and he's like, Diana, shield, and like they basically duplicated that maneuver.
Yeah, I thought
which
that
was
was so cool.
yeah, that was a really nice
Man,
throwback. I thought that was
their
awesome.
chemistry was so good.
And Chris,
Ridiculous.
I have to say, Chris Pine did a great job of sort of playing the sort of. I wouldn't call it a feminine role, but he definitely played sort of a sidekick role to her.
Yeah,
As
he was. I
should.
think that's a good way to say it.
He
He was
played more of
a
a
good
sidekick
sidekick. He was kind of trying to shepherd. He was kind of helping her just learn, like, hey, this is like you can't necessarily wear that. It's a bit distracting, but at the same time, after a while, he just kind of stepped back, like, yeah, we need to just follow her lead.
Yeah, I think after you see her charge into a hail of machine gun fire, you kind of just have to say, you know what, I'm just gonna shut up and just follow her. That's
Yeah.
what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, just just discussing the comic book, the differences between the comic book and film. Steve Trevor doesn't die in the comic book.
Actually, and actually, Steve Trevor isn't even like he's not from World War I. He's actually from
From modern time.
Yeah.
And, well, see, the thing is, that's why I like what they finally DC figured out something with their movie universe differentiating from a comic universe, because in the sense of things, we know that Trevor was pretty much just an old plot trope from back in the day.
Because you can't
Yeah.
do anything being a woman without a guy being
Exactly. So he was kind of like her vehicle to get around in the world, and also he was something that they could make Wonder Woman a romance comic. Because Wonder Woman even has went through multiple incarnations during her time as a character, and one time they even tried to make it a romance book in the 70s or the 60s. They took her powers.
They took her powers away. Yeah,
and she
that
was running a clothing shop.
Everyone hated that.
That was horrible.
Everyone hated that.
So
The guy who wrote that actually he apologized for that years later. He said, "I'm sorry." He thought that it would empower her to show that she could still be a hero even without the powers, and it wasn't. He was like, "I get it now." He was like, years later, he's like, "I get that I took the most powerful woman in that universe and just stripped it away."
The road to hell is paved with good intentions.
And
And that.
And bad intentions. too.
And you got to remember that in the beginning they did ridiculous stuff to her. Like the only thing that could sap her powers was
her own lasso.
Well, no, if her those bracelets were chained together by a man. If her bracelets were chained together by a man.
Oh my.
Yeah, exactly. My goodness. But
That's a little
Anyway.
Goliath-y.
yeah.
I will show you, Wonder Woman. I'm going to strap you to this table and give you a good talking to.
Just FYI, while I don't, this is one of those things that can't really be confirmed or denied at this point. A lot of rumor going around that the creator of Wonder Woman was also into the kink scene.
Oh, let me go ahead and throw a little
Help
something.
us out, Fred.
He had like somewhat of a blended family, where he had, say, a wife and another wife, and one of them was like a lawyer or something, and she was the chief breadwinner for the house,
Okay.
and the other was kind of like more of just kind of like helping with the children at the time. But they had, they had like a blended family together. They were all kind of in a kind of a polygamy type of a situation going on there.
So very non-traditional.
polygamist, okay.
Very
Yes.
non-traditional relationships
Yes,
going on there.
exactly. So they
Whatever works for you.
yes, he was pushing a lot of things going on there. So yeah, and then also one thing I'll say about this as well, not to just kind of go off, but I like the way they actually worked in some. They kind of made some traditional characters better. Like I kept showing the girls information about like Etta Candy, And when you even look at that name, Etta Candy, ate her candy.
Oh god.
And
She's fat.
basically they were doing like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. They were doing the and I was telling them in the past they did things like they would either, if they didn't use a racial epitaph, they would use like a chubby epitaph, and they would have them be bumbling characters. But Ella actually was a lot more for that time period, even though she did provide some comic relief back in the comic era. But she actually was a lot more. She became a lot more as a character. And in this movie, they actually showed her more as the capable, I'm the person that can tie all of this together and make all of this work in the background.
Liked her.
Yeah, that's what I said. And so they did a good job with modernizing her.
And actually, speaking of racial epitaphs at the time, they actually had one that was not a stereotype. There was a Native American in the group
Yes.
who was actually Native American. The actor's name is Eugene Braverock. I shit you not.
Yes.
His
Man,
name
that
is
name is awesome. That is like an awesome name.
His name is Eugene Braverock, and there is actually a scene where his character first introduced himself to Wonder Woman. He actually speaks the Indian language of Blackfoot to her. Authentically, and she answers him back because by her knowledge, like Themysciran women, Amazons know at least 100 different languages. So that was a nice little bit, and he's not a throwaway. That was really awesome, is that he wasn't Slipknot. He wasn't Slipknot from the fucking Suicide Squad who dies.
Oh yeah, yeah.
first
He was
5
the very
minutes after
first
he's
guy.
introduced.
He's like, "Hey, dude, why don't you try it?" Like, and then he just dies instantly.
They spent more time on his character design than.
They spent more time on his fucking billboard, his character billboard, his cutout, than they did actually
he
with
was
the character
actually
movie.
on the billboard and he died
You
within
mean
like the
his
first.
playing card, his trading
so
card
sad.
Yeah,
with
you
his
know,
picture on it?
that's about all they had.
He was a how do you put it? A yeoman or a red shirt.
There you go. Yes,
He was there to die.
he was Ensign Ricky.
That was how pathetic they did that movie.
Oh,
But they didn't do that to the chief, so that was cool. Wait. But Fred was telling me he said something very specific when he was talking in Blackfoot to her, which I thought was fascinating. It made that character so much more interesting.
Yes,
to me.
actually, I'm reading the article that Fred shot me over a minute ago. Is that the what he actually did was after he said hello in Blackfoot, he introduced himself as Napi, and that is apparently the Blackfoot demigod who is known as a trickster and a storyteller. So not only did they fit an actual Native American guy, in actual Native American language, but they also fit in some of their culture in there as well, with nothing more than just a few lines, which shouldn't be difficult to do, but apparently
It's actually
because
quite
we're amazed.
rare. That's actually
That's
quite
incredibly rare
Yeah.
for that to happen. So
I just think this director's amazing.
Yeah, and I mean the fact that what this does for the story is great because it answers a lot of questions about why he's there. Because like I said before, like during World War I and World War II, we do know that American forces and European forces, they actually started using Native Americans because their language couldn't be broken by code breakers from the other side.
Yeah, I think
So-
that Nicolas Cage
Made a really terrible movie about that. I think so. Just correct me if I'm wrong.
no, you're right. He did. It was awful.
Well,
It was awful.
We'll see seeing him wandering around in this World War II landscape. He seemed like this hippie just kind of wafting through for a minute.
Kind of like a Native American.
It was a
running
little
through.
bit
It's
like, what are
Bruh,
you
it's just
doing
war
here?
going on
this.
over there.
He's like near the front lines and he's just camping.
I mean, it was like finding a sunflower in the
beans
middle
like
of all of it. Anyway, so that helped me have much greater appreciation for, it's because he's kind of disconnected because he might be a trickster god. That's pretty cool.
Which is cool
Yeah.
because they mentioned in there that he's actually selling contraband to both sides of the war.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
here's a book for the British. Here's a book for the Germans. And
Get it.
Not
that was cool.
not
Get that
munitions
paper.
or anything. He's like just literally just if you're on the front line and you just want a book.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, man, I'll bring you something to read.
Can we talk about Ares for a second?
You mean Riemann Lupus? Riemann Lupus?
What
Yeah,
did
yeah.
you
Sorry.
just say?
Sorry. Hold
What
on.
did you say in my? It's Remus Lupin.
Remus Lupin. Thank you.
Yeah, the guy from the Dragon movie. Okay, that's what I call him. You know what I'm talking about, right?
The guy from.
Come on, Corey, help me out. Come on. That's what I always see. The moment I saw him, I'm like, yeah, you're that evil king from the. Yeah, okay.
Oh, the guy from the Dragon movie. I'm searching horribly bad to try to find his name right now.
Search.
I am so.
Wait, you have notes. You took notes from.
I didn't take notes on this guy. Y'all
What?
I can only plan so much. I've got an escape going on.
Don't
There's,
forget-
like, catering in the background. I can't work with it. Okay.
He was the villain. You were supposed to know this stuff. Damn it, sir. I was supposed to
I
plan for
am
this.
so glad that they didn't go with the general. I would have been disappointed had they chosen the general because it was so obvious. It was like,
that was too obvious.
Are we escaping right now? Is that what we're doing?
I don't know. Y'all are sitting here doing this podcast, so I can't really tell.
We don't
I
have
mean-
anything else going on till like midnight, so
I
yeah,
mean,
we're just
he
gonna.
has like
hang out.
just a chain of grenades strapped to her right now. So
I'm ready to go when you are. Like, just.
She's like,
tell me.
she's doing this whole thing kind of.
what are you guys gonna do at midnight?
turn into pumpkins.
Oh,
She's kind of doing that whole thing of like the what is it, the Dark Knight Joker thing. She's kind of got like a trench coat full of a trench coat full of grenades right now.
I mean,
I have a system.
she kind of crashed our spaceship into half the building.
Did not
and-
crash it. It drifted, and it was awesome.
That's what she says every time.
It drifted and it was awesome.
It drifted. It was awesome.
You know, a drift only works if you don't crash, right? You know that.
Shut
No.
up.
Just saying. David threw it. Well, yeah. He has like, wow, I give up. I give up. David
So, who is that guy?
Thulis. David Thulis. His name is David Thulis. That's how I'm pronouncing it.
we'll fix it, man.
Well,
You know, everything's gonna work out.
David Thulis as Sir Patrick, who is also the God of War. Ares.
Somebody told me he was in a butt rape scene.
Yeah.
Wait,
Okay.
why did I share that?
Now keep going. Keep going. You did hold your arms
pretty
up like
sure
that.
I'm
Oh.
pretty sure it was Corey that told me.
Actually,
he
it
in a
was
butt
me.
rape scene.
It was me. And yes, there was another film where he was sodomized by Leonardo DiCaprio.
Who would not want this?
I'm not kidding, by the way. There was a movie with him in it where he is sodomized by Leonardo DiCaprio.
Are you telling me that he was a victim of sodomy?
I went to Amazon.
You know, I mean, look it up, folks. I guarantee you can probably find it. You can probably find it on YouTube somewhere. Yes, there is a scene of him being sodomized by Leonardo DiCaprio, and he's crying.
Can you give me just a little bit of background on that at least?
No,
Okay.
It was,
no, you'll have to
was
find
the
it.
movie The Titanic.
No,
No.
the uncut edition.
Can I draw you? No.
And that's why he sodomized him. He just wanted to draw you, man. That's all.
I was like, you know what? Fine.
Then he drew him
I'm gonna
afterwards.
do that.
Is there oxygen in this room?
I don't know. We're trying to let some air in
Things
because
are going badly.
we are degenerating right now. I don't know if it's the combination of the tired or whatnot.
We would have
That's
an
all
air
of it,
conditioner if
All of it.
we would have an air conditioner if P didn't crash the spaceship into it.
And it feels so good.
It's, space is great.
There's
So-
Okay,
another way.
trying to bring it back around from the sodomy.
Okay, so Aries, okay. I really thought that Ludendorff, who is, what is he, like, quartermaster general?
You said quartermaster general. You go, what's his full name?
I don't even know.
Quartermaster
it's like
General.
It's four
Fran-
whole
Francis-
words.
Francis Franken Val Ludendorff or something. Eric.
Wolfric Brian Dumbledore.
No. You leave that out of this. You leave that out of this booth.
I'm gonna call him Betty.
Just
I really
Commander
enjoyed-
Ludendorff is who he plays. That's what we're gonna call him.
The actor that plays him is Danny Houston, and I think that guy is a lot of fun.
The really, really, really bad version of Stryker from the X-Men movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hate his ass from that movie.
Like,
Sorry.
I got to see him in American Horror Story
Yeah, that was
recently as
him.
well, and he played like this murderous jazz sax man, which was
Jazz Sex Man?
sax.
Saxophone.
Oh, okay, sorry.
You know, Kenny G, but
That's
sexy.
That's sexy.
I could see Kenny G killing people. I could definitely.
Just people dying to his music.
So
They kind of do.
I really
Oh.
enjoyed his portrayal of the general, and I was kind of into, cool, he's gonna be Ares. That's kind of fun. And then it's like this really skinny dude, and I'm like, okay.
That was a flip I wasn't expecting.
I mean,
have to
good
say that was
job,
actually pretty
but
good.
I wasn't feeling it.
I think
honestly,
if
but
you're gonna
good
be
job.
the God of War, and you're gonna be in human form, you're not gonna pick the most obvious.
You got a skinny
The most
neck,
obvious thing.
Aries. You got a skinny neck.
He basically chose like he chose a guy on a crutch. Basically, he chose the guy that walked around on a crutch and looked like the most harmless, frail old man ever. Who no one suspected him.
When the devil appears to you, he's not going to appear to you in the form you.
He's not going to have cloven feet and horns. No, he's going to.
No,
be
he was
like,
the guy who was like, "Hey, Diana Prince, come in here and tell these guys what they need to be doing."
So he went right away to that one. I thought that was actually a pretty good twist.
And you got to remember that in a way that he was kind of like, how do you put it, the good devil, so to speak. He was the guy, that other version of the story that you always get, that the reason why he didn't want to bow, or the reason that he wouldn't succumb to this, is because he recognized the destructive nature of man. And he recognized, and it's kind of like the whole thing that they've said about Loki and all of these characters. Like, basically, they're not pure evil in the sense that they're just trying to say, you're screwing up, big guy.
Like, we just want to destroy the world. But no, it's like, no,
well,
man,
actually, no,
these humans are awful.
He didn't even want to destroy it. He wants to just to go back to a paradise by eliminating the humans. Because he's like, the humans are destroying it.
This was so much better before these humans were here.
So
that's what I'm saying.
That was his thing. And basically, he's kind of saying to the gods and stuff that in your own arrogance, you've made a disaster. And that's the same
actually was
thing
much
that
more complicated.
And that's why I said, so that's exactly what Loki... that's what Loki and all these characters, they showed the gods their own avarice. Now, one thing I'll also say about another villain in there, Dr. Poison. Dr. Poison is another character from Wonder Woman's history. And she's actually one of her villains from during that time.
I felt bad.
Really?
For her.
Older time.
I feel bad.
Yeah,
for
you kind of
her.
felt sorry for this version of her.
Yeah, well, because one of the thing is they made her manipulated a little bit by Ares in the sense that she wanted this, but she was a sociopath.
Yeah.
Which was a part of the human human
Yeah,
identity.
she was creating poison gas
to kill people.
That could burn you alive.
But something bad had to happen to her that just make her say.
No, I think she was just a sociopath.
Oh, she was just insane. Okay.
She's just a sociopath. That's all it was.
No.
So she's not an angel here. She's not completely a victim, but she is being manipulated.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was kind of sad when she was going to get crushed by the tank.
Well, see, she can only feel things, when they're dying, and that gives her the tinglies, and that's kind of all she feels anymore, is how it seems. But she is sad.
She gets a girl boner when she kills people.
She does. You can see it in her eyes. Good acting.
Her one good eye. But I thought all in all, that was actually the twist. That was actually a very good. I thought a very good twist with Ares is like, oh, I'm not just doing this because I want to see mankind suffer. It's like, no, these humans destroyed our paradise. This was a mistake that I'm trying to correct. And it's one of those things of him seeing himself as the good guy in all of this. And like, all I'm doing is showing you exactly what these humans are like. So you can join me in this and cleansing this earth of these destructive creatures and going back to the way it was. And I thought that was a very interesting twist on an old villain because that wasn't what I expected. I do like the fact, though, that when they fought, I thought like, this is going to be a pretty action-packed fight. I know it is, but man, it would be so much better if we saw him in his armor. Oh, he's in his armor. All right, yeah, I'm in. There we go.
That's it. You know he was going to pull the armor out.
I was like, I figured he was going to pull the armor, but it's like I was on the fence for a minute there, so that was pretty cool.
So yeah, I did like the way that Ares really explained his position in a way that you could sympathize with and go, yeah, if I were you, I could see, killing everyone. That seems fair.
That seems fair.
I was with Ares.
And I have to say the acting in this movie was actually much. Well, what am I saying? It has been much better than any other fucking DC film they've made thus far. After from Man of Steel up to now. Because it was really a lot of the scenes involving Chris Pine were really good. Chris Pine's a great actor. Him and Gal Gadot had amazing chemistry together, which I didn't expect. I expected to have to cringe my way through a lot of the romantic scenes with them, but they actually had a lot of chemistry together. They were funny on screen every time they were together and had banter back and forth. That was really cool. And there was also the aspect of when, Diana's bubble is kind of burst and she realizes that maybe humans can just be awful. And she feels like, I don't need to fight for them anymore. And there's like a really awesome acting scene between her and Chris Pine where he's like, maybe it's not about what they deserve, it's about what you choose.
About your beliefs, was it? Your faith?
Something to that
fancy
effect.
word for that.
Let's just give in to Aries and call it a day.
Kaboom! Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Well, we kind of did with our current president, but you know,
But-
it's a slow and painful death. Slow and painful death.
Painful memories.
Maybe he's actually Aries, right?
Do not befoul the name of Aries.
You would never suspect it. It makes sense.
He's a self-respecting god, man. He's not he doesn't play the part of the fool. Not like that.
Is that
Not like
to
that.
cover up the horns, you know, or is it?
But Brandon, you had something, man?
Yeah, no. I was just gonna talk about whether or not you thought Chris Pine enjoyed the God sex that he had.
Yes, there was.
Because he had God sex.
There was a sex scene. Well, okay, not necessarily a sex
And that
scene.
was a good thing that they didn't do.
They actually didn't do a sex scene. They just showed a scene of them kissing and then they faded to black.
And I like that. And see that's one of those things. I'm not a prude when it comes to this type of stuff, but I'm so doggone tired.
It was unnecessary. You know what I think? You know what I
Like-
think did it, man? I think at this point when we saw, the bat sex happen and the Killing Joke.
No,
that's
dude.
kind of killed it for everybody.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what really got me when Superman got in the tub with Lois
Oh.
Lane with his pants on.
While he
While
had clothes
clothed.
on.
I said, you know what? Let's just
Can we skip
insinuate
this?
this.
Can we skip
Can we
this,
just insinuate that something happened because they started kissing in a dark room, and we'll just insinuate it, and they won't be weirded out the next day because they wanted it to happen?
They weren't weirded out the
Yeah,
next
they
day.
were
Yeah.
really cool the next day.
I don't know why, but like the thought of him and Wonder Woman having sex just kind of reminds me of like that Twilight scene with the bed and the thing, the plaster falling.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she could tear him apart too. Yeah, it's just kind of like
Just
the.
hear a bed being slammed against the wall and hear a guy go, God
like
damn!
the plaster coming out. of
Okay. All right.
It's like stuff breaking. It's like, yeah.
Deanna.
Deanna,
Oh God.
I can no longer fight the war.
I think it would have been. I think it
didn't
would have been
cry.
great. It would have been
I
great.
didn't cry.
Like his buddies are asking, "You okay, man? You all right?" Like he's
You see
he's
him
got
walk-
bruises. He's just
You see him walking
up.
with a limp the next day.
You know those guys that when they were coming to the front and they were rolling them back in wheelchairs and stuff? I'm telling you, that's where I'd be, boy. The war would be over. I'd be like, are you going to be, everybody's dead, man. Real worry.
He's just in a wheelchair with bandages and shit on him, like right now. Like, man, what happened to you? Like,
It's like,
fun happened to me,
if
man.
you've seen
I'll
this
be- I'll be
Bigelow
okay.
when you have to describe it, have you ever tried to pound concrete?
I don't know. Have you had the concrete pound you?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like
Oh, my goodness.
God sex. There you go.
I call it God sex.
So that was pretty hilarious. I have to say this because I also gotta make a small comparison between this and I cannot remember what year it was, but the animated Wonder Woman movie that came out a while ago. My pride, I thought that was pretty good when I first saw it, but the more I watched it later on, the less I liked it because they made Diana's character such a damn straw feminist character. They really did. They made her such a straw feminist character to me because she was like one stone's throw away from being like a man-hating character, and it seemed like every scene was geared towards her hating men.
Well,
And
but
all of it set her
that's
up.
because at least in that version of it, they kind of raised her that way, kind of like men are this, and Steve Trevor was there to kind of show her, no, they aren't what you think, Diana.
Yeah, but that's kind of what I mean. It's like they did
Yeah.
the whole man-hating thing with her through that whole movie, and it feels like they did it just so they could set up a scene of him telling her off. Of him
okay.
telling her off and starting off the scene with what you met your first man 2 days ago, and
Yeah.
and, basically correcting her and saying not all men.
I
are
am
awful.
kind of glad that part didn't carry over as
Yeah,
much.
I'm really glad.
I don't think that would have worked very well with this film.
To me, the part that I was proud of the most about this is that they got the most correct was her level of compassion. That was
Yeah,
that
she was
shined
extremely
through so
compassionate.
much. That shined through so
And we
much.
always noted that about her. In the Blue Beetle, just side note, in the Blue Beetle situation, when she took a low-level superhero and she really, she was really there for him.
Yeah,
The other
yeah.
members of the Justice League didn't care, but she's Diana. She's like, princess of
This guy
Amazon.
this guy who is literally like, he is diet Batman, Diet Coke Batman.
Yeah, not
In the
even
sense
that.
not even that.
He's
Like,
Czech
really-
Cola Batman, okay?
Oh,
He's
are we gonna say
low-level.
RC Cola Batman?
Yeah.
RC Cola, yeah, RC Cola Batman. The Blue Beetle, and we're not talking about what is his name? Reyes.
Not the one,
something.
not the guy with
Anthony
the scarab.
Reyes, I don't think. Not the one with the actual working scarab, but this is the Blue Beetle, just with the costume and gadgets. And he was having a crisis, and none of the big league members would help. Like, not Batman, not Superman. None of them came to his aid when he's like, wait a minute, I think something big is going on. But Wonder Woman did.
Yeah, she flew to his city just to like see
Just to help
about him.
him. Like,
And I
just
always
help him.
remembered that she always did things like that. She always cared. She was always compassionate.
And actually, for readers, what was funny is when Batman's book was sucking, and you couldn't and wasn't doing anything on the shelf, like say late '80s, going into the '90s, the Blue Beetles book were fun.
Yeah.
And so they were actually selling because they were putting them into almost comical situations.
They had him with a buddy cop situation
Exactly,
with Booster Gold,
Booster Gold
all the time.
Exactly, and then so it's kind of like whatever. So when it got to that dark spot, it showed that. But that's just part of like Wonder Woman's many incarnations. And now that they finally landed on this incarnation of her being a true warrior princess, I think they finally hit the right tone.
This is
They
it.
finally hit the
got
right
it.
tone, and I think this gets closer to what the creator wanted her to be, because they actually like watered her down several times to get here.
And it was nice that they finally went through enough iterations to get one correct. Where it's like, she's an absolute kick-ass warrior woman, who, believe it or not, man, her battle skills keep getting more and more intense the further on that movie goes. Like, when you get to the scene where she's basically taking on soldiers and knocking over tanks, and fuck that tower. Fuck that tower and the sniper inside it and anybody else who was in the lower levels. You think that's as intense as it can go, but it keeps jumping up and jumping up. But it doesn't get unnecessarily destructive like it did in like Batman v Superman, where it's just destruction porn, or Man of Steel or something like that. So, but they also make a great point that when she's not fighting, she's constantly trying to save people. She's constantly concerned about people's well-being. She's constantly showing her level of compassion and how much she just loves people, which I thought was great, considering the fact that our two previous superheroes, one who wears a red cape but they want him to be Batman, and one who wears a Batman outfit but they want him to be Punisher. Our previous incarnations were so goddamn depressing. This was really nice to see. It was a really big change.
Yeah, she made me feel hopeful. After I left the theater.
After a superhero film, that's crazy, right?
I did a push-up.
So let me ask, Zack Snyder, how is he involved in this?
He was a producer, I believe.
Wasn't the director.
Was not the director.
So even though it's all the slow motion scenes worked, I don't know why it works
They
here,
worked
but
this
it didn't.
time, yeah. They
Yeah,
worked
I
this time.
guess it's just the film. I guess that's what it is. But I guess where are we now with the entire universe? Okay, we have a good film. Where do we go from here?
We have a good film, but you have to remember Justice League has already been made.
Look, I'm gonna tell you that Justice League trailer tells me we're in for some tough.
This might be our only one. This might be
Tough
our
sledding.
only bright spot.
And they canceled the Shazam movie, and Black Adam's going to be a villain in Superman. Is
Heard
my
about that.
understanding.
It is going to be The Rock. It is
It's
still
gonna
going to
be
be
The
The
Rock.
Rock playing Black Adam, but
Smell what the Rock is doing, cooking. The only thing that
Commental grunts.
exactly. The only
we
thing
we know how Sarah feels about The Rock.
the only thing that
I
bothers
love
me.
Scorpion King.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
But the
It's
only,
an awful movie.
So do I,
loved
honey.
it. I know, right? Ooh.
but the
Them
only
big
thing.
muscly arms.
The only thing that bothers me, because Black Adam is one of my favorite characters with Namor.
Of course. You love asshole-ish anti-hero types,
Yes,
man.
I like the villain. I'm with the villain. But for Darkseid. But as I was, I think that we're in for some tough sledding unless they take some kind of a page from Wonder Woman. And I think that Wonder Woman was unique because she, like I told you, in the BBS series, in the BBS movie, it showed you she was the character there. She was still in the show there. She was still in the show. Now,
Even
don't
though
get me wrong.
She was just added on.
I know the fanboys and everybody. They're
The girls
raging.
can't do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were raging about
what they
Harley
said.
and raging about the Joker and they were raging about the easy targets in the movie. But the individual that really got to me, and for Suicide Squad, they were raging with Harley and raging with Joker.
Oscar award-winning Suicide Squad movie.
Yes, there you go. But in BBS, Wonder Woman stood out. She truly stood out as a character. Even her brief interaction with Bruce Wayne stood out. You know
True,
what I mean?
true.
So out of all of those movies that came out, that's the character that stood out to me. When you put BBS and Suicide Squad together, she's the one that stood out, and the movie showed up. So
I feel like it's just going to depend on the new talent that comes out, as everything ages, you know, because it took up to this point to get a good to get a good movie out of this universe.
How long ago was Man of Steel?
Yeah, we all went to go see that, right?
Yeah, we all saw that together. We saw that bullshit
It
together.
was like 2008 or something, right?
That was the Man of now he's like the
7,
Man of Rust.
9.
P went with you guys to see Batman versus Superman.
Yes, you did, and I'm
walked
sorry.
out.
Can we stop talking about it?
No, because I don't want them to make that same mistake.
She
Yeah,
walked
you
out.
met me in the middle of a rant, so I'm sorry. I still apologize.
I left. I didn't say anything. I peed and I left. And that was all that,
That
movie
movie
deserved.
that movie just pissed her off.
It was two
so much.
teenage superheroes having a slap fight for a whole movie. That was what
Two
this
teenage
was.
girls.
Well, technically, it's only like 5 minutes of
my
the movie.
backstory's more tragic. No, my backstory's more tragic.
your
Shut
mom
up.
has the same name as my mom. We're like besties now.
Look, I'm literally laying
Yeah.
on my secret, like, awful weapon that, like, takes me out.
Oh
No.
my god, your problems are so stupid.
I wanted to kick them in the balls.
See, that's what we need to do. We need to have that entire scene done in there.
Yes, that would
Yes.
be awesome.
Oh my
yes.
God. I was just thinking about
That's
that.
an easy read. That's
That's
an easy
so
read, actually.
fucking hilarious. Yes, that would
But
be great.
I do want to say, going back to the Wonder Woman movie, as like, okay, I know I feel like I have hope in the new talent that comes out of our generations and things, and of new creatives. Other than that, I have no hope.
Yeah.
This is Hollywood.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Hollywood.
yeah.
It's
Sorry,
Hollywood.
it's
It makes
not gonna
money,
happen.
baby. Money.
This film is gonna do well, and they still won't know why. They won't figure it out. They won't know why. It's like they'll say, "Oh, it's because she's hot." That's it.
But I do want to
She
say,
was young and hot.
out of the side characters in Wonder Woman, we have Samir, we have Charlie, we have the Chief. I was really sad we didn't get to see more of them. Like, I know the point's been made, but that they might have overshadowed Wonder Woman a little bit. Bullshit.
No.
And-
Who made that point?
I don't.
Somebody said that.
I feel like production-wise, that might have been a
Oh my God, no.
conscious decision to kind of
Scale them
undershadow
back,
them a little.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that, but I just think for the pacing of the movie, you know, because you only got so long to tell a movie, and to show a movie and kind of get the story across. And sadly enough, I'm with you. I would love to have seen more of those characters, especially what was going on with Charlie and like the PTSD.
Charlie.
Yeah,
Yeah, they showed you had
kinda-
PTSD. Yeah.
Exactly, and you never kind of
They
touched.
showed-
Just kind of touched it a little bit.
They showed
and
so
walked
much
away.
and just very little.
Exactly, and see, that's what I said, and that was the buy-in that I was bought into this movie more than any DC movie because that felt authentic. And then you had like Samir actually talking about he wanted to be an actor
and not a
but he
soldier,
couldn't
yeah.
be because he's not the
They
right.
had character.
They had character, and so he's like.
And somehow
Exactly.
they couldn't figure out how to do this in a 2.5-hour Suicide Squad film,
That's
huh?
what I'm saying.
We had like 20 minutes of character
Now,
development with these
stop
guys.
there. They tried that crazy. It's like they had the audacity to pretend like they were doing it.
Oh my God.
And then they flipped the switch and said, "Now these guys are family." And I'm like, "What?
We're family, huh?
What?"
Come on, hey.
They went to a bar together, right? And they talked about stuff.
And they
They had a whole bonding moment in that bar, man.
Yeah, yeah.
That family only lasts for like 5 hours if you make a bar family. That's it.
It's still family, but they had
It
5 hours to
depends on
work
how
with
much
it.
Jack
You
is
know.
involved.
You know, just random here. I want to. The first fight with the lasso when she was using the lasso threw me off a little because it made me kind of want to go and do ribbon dancing. It had a very whooshy feel to it.
It was
Didn't feel
more-
like fighting.
It behaved more like a lasso, a whip of truth, not necessarily a lasso.
Which, I mean,
the way
that's
she
fine.
wielded it, which is great. It was still great.
Like,
Stop
later,
already.
Oh,
later
Fred.
on. Oh
We've
my
lost
goodness.
Fred. There we go.
And
Fred's off
Fred.
again. Yes.
But
Yes.
like later on, it got like badass and stuff. But like that first fight with the whip, I was all like, "Oh man, I'll break out my old ribbon dancer."
was anyone else besides me, child of the 90s, like getting some pretty bag Xena Warrior Princess pants?
Oh my God.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Oh dear
Yeah,
God.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
dear God. Yes.
I was just waiting for Gabrielle to come out.
I know. Yes.
We needed a little hot blonde woman with a bow staff, just in the background, just beating up people. You know.
Yeah.
With her older, more mature
Friend.
friend.
Yes.
Really good friend.
Yes.
Yeah.
That they
Very.
occasionally have to snuggle together for warmth.
It's very cold.
It's very cold out there in the wilderness.
I'll snuggle with Robin Wright anytime. She's sexy.
Yeah.
Indeed. And yes, there was a very heavy Xena Warrior Princess vibe. I knew I wasn't the only one that felt that. I knew I wasn't.
It's pretty much wearing the same thing, only a different color.
Yeah. But man, this is probably the most of all of our DC movie reviews. This is the one we've thrown out the absolute most compliments of any fucking film combined.
I feel like we were so relieved. I feel
really
relieved.
are.
Like, yeah, you know how that kid finally gets an A, and you're like, good for you, man.
You did it, man.
And he
Good
goes
job.
to every class, and he's like, I got an A finally.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, good, Randy, you got an A.
Now try to get some A's in the other class. Try to do what you did here over there. Try to do what you did here in all your other classes. How about that?
Just appreciate the aid.
Randy can't. Okay, like C's all you're gonna get out of Randy. Just like let him.
Let him have his moment.
Just let him have his moment,
please.
man.
I'm a very cheap person when it comes to like entertainment, and this is the first time I wasn't pissed off about spending $12 on a DC movie. In
I
a
spent
long
15
time.
because I went and I thought I was seeing the regular version, but all they had was IMAX 3D.
What was it worth it? Was it?
Yes,
Wow.
I'm gonna say yes. It was worth it. I was excited. I was elated.
When did you go? In the morning? 15 for 3D IMAX?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
3D IMAX.
That's
3D
pretty good.
IMAX for
Because if you go in the evening, it's like 20.
Oh man, that was like it would have been like $22
Yeah,
or some
yeah.
shit. Like I just knew I wasn't getting any popcorn today, so that's fine. That's okay. But speaking of pros versus cons, do we actually have any complaints about this film?
Well,
I
you
thought.
did say the accent.
Yeah. I thought that
mentioned
the
that.
beginning was a little slow at times. At times, the beginning was just a little bit slow, and maybe the accents. That's about it. But those are like nitpicks. I have nitpicks.
Some of the lines were corny, but it's a superhero movie, so
That's kinda how it's
again,
supposed to be.
nitpicks.
Yeah, that's about it. For me, it was definitely our legendary accents in the beginning was a bit tough for me because it was trying to have that very epic old world feel, and it was
They
losing me a
dropped
little
some
bit.
vowels. You know how you're supposed to keep all your vowels. They dropped some occasionally.
Vowel
I
drop.
noticed
It's like
that.
clear, like Americans speaking a certain way, and it's just like, okay. When Chris Pine was doing it, he's supposed to kind of sound. It's supposed to be a bad German accent because he's doing a bad German accent.
Yeah, that's
right,
funny.
yeah.
That was a funny scene, by the way.
Yeah.
So for me, between that and not getting to see some of our background characters actually make the shot, or actually get to act it, those are really my only complaints about it, which is pretty darn
For a
good.
DC film, that's damn rare.
Ooh,
Oh wait. Okay, Bug has one.
like, I have questions about that ending scene where she's
Which one?
the very very ending scene where she's jumping off that tower into the sunset, and I'm like, why is she in her getup jumping off a tower into the sunset? Is there crime out there? I don't see it.
Okay, yeah, that was a bit weak.
That was a
It was the action
That was
shot.
like a typical
Yeah.
like ending action shot.
You know,
Every
at the
superhero
beginning of the
film
movie,
has
it's
one.
like, what do you guys call yourselves? The Ghostbusters. You know.
They
They could have at least put like Godzilla in the horizon.
Oh
or
my
something.
I actually,
He just fought Godzilla.
I have to say, I thought
Or a cheetah or something.
or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I was
yeah, that would have been
Cameo.
No
next
after
movie.
scene credit. No after scene
because
credit.
they're not Marvel, right?
But they did it several times. They did
I
it with
know, I know.
that shitty,
Cheetah
the
is one
Yeah,
of
the
my
other shitty
favorite.
movies, yes.
And Cheetah was one of my favorite.
That actually would have been good if they had Cheetah. Like,
Priscilla, yeah.
it, or it would have been nice if she saw like an explosion in the horizon or something,
give her a
and
reason.
you see an explosion in the horizon, but you hear the sound of a cheetah roar.
You always want
Or
just
she's
a little
in the
bit
jungle and everything like
You know,
that.
she's like viewing. She's like, there's a scratch across like a tree or something. It's like there's a creature that's out here that I'm hunting.
There you
something
go.
like that. Something that alludes to the next film. But you know what, man? I'm willing to go a little easy on them on that one because this is their first win. This is
And
their
they
first.
didn't-
This is
yeah.
their first time they've actually
Hey.
done some shit right.
And they didn't do like this epic cliffhanger that is the norm. So it's like I would have rather they had a little bit of alluding. It was a bit of a wasted opportunity jumping into the sunset, but I am kind of glad we don't have that like immediate land. You've already bought movies 2 and 3 because you're not gonna know what the hell happened.
Yeah. I think it would have been nice if if at that moment they would have chosen to show that she could fly, because they didn't really. They shown that she can jump really high.
So you want to kind of like an epic, you can fly moment.
Sort of, yeah. So that would have been
off
on
into the sunset.
Just actually
Yeah.
flies
She
off
kind
in
of
the
just
sunset, like
Jessica
actually
Jones.
flies.
She kind of Jessica Jones her way through the film. She just
She
jumps
just jumps
really high.
high.
Yeah,
she
it's
can
like
just jump really
I
high.
jump.
They haven't actually shown that she can fly yet.
That's one
so.
of my favorite episodes of Samurai Jack when he learns.
Oh,
to,
jump good?
Yeah, jump good. Yeah, it's like not fly, jump good.
Jump good.
It's the best thing ever.
Yes.
Did
There's a lot of
that.
jump gooders. Hulk can jump.
Hulk
good.
can jump real good. Really good.
Oh,
But
yeah. On the sentimentalism though in the movie, like Bug got choked up over there a couple times.
Oh,
But what really got me was seeing the Agent Orange looking stuff. Because like and watching documentaries and other things, seen the horrible stuff that really did to people, and so that got me a little bit like, okay, here I am watching this whole fictional character thing, but this really happened, and I started like having this moment of like, oh god,
Yeah.
it's like,
I gotta say on that side, me being the Superman fan that I am, I'm incredibly. A lot of this is tinged with. A lot of my compliments are tinged with why the fuck couldn't you do this before? Why couldn't you guys have done all of this research and all of this good character development on the characters that were like also as premier and just as big as Wonder Woman? Because the whole compassion thing is big for me. Of her being so compassionate and seeing all of this suffering, and you visually see it's affecting her. You see when she sees these soldiers who are coming back injured, when she sees these innocent people who are just trying to get their stuff and trying to survive and cradling their children, and you see it's visually affecting her, and that actually ends up being the catalyst to her saying, screw this mission, I'm going out there to stop this. And that ended up being like, that was the biggest fucking just grandiose superhero entrance moment I've seen in a long time that fit so well. It was packed with emotion, and it really got to me in the sense that I teared up a little bit myself just watching that, because it's like, she's like, I can't sit down and watch this anymore. I have to do something. That was great.
I loved her portraying it with fresh eyes, like, why is this okay to you? This is insane. And it's like, we're so used to now that's it's war. That's what happens, and instead her portraying that being of seeing this for the first time is so
and she's
good.
got the innocent
So
eyes, so she can't understand like why everybody's just letting this pass.
And then
She tried to help everyone.
Yes. and I would say one of the things that really got me too was actually when they got to the point where Trevor was going to die, or he was going to sacrifice himself for the situation, and this was a great moment of tension. It didn't come off cheesy.
Yeah, because that moment when Chris Pine like pauses the whole point.
Yeah, and then the fact that she'd had her ears rung from the explosion of that bomb, or those bombs on Ares, and he's telling her this stuff, and you see him handing her to watch, and you're like, oh no. Then all of a sudden,
coming.
and you see that his group, like you're like, okay, this is the end for everybody. Like they're preparing themselves for death. They're out of weapon,
They're out of ammo. They're praying,
huddling,
like they're huddled together
exactly,
praying.
huddled together and praying for it, and you're just waiting for it all to go down. And when that happens, you're just like, wow. And that's why
it hit you. It hit you
hard.
hard.
I told you, I haven't felt like this since watching Tony Stark's action, because who I never gave a shit about ever in life
Until Civil War.
Until Civil War, when you found out that, and he's sitting there going through this, and you're just torn from character to character. Like, where is this going? What's gonna happen here?
This situation.
And everybody, like, you're just all told. You're like, I don't know what is gonna happen. So this actually made you do this. Like, I'm here now. I'm here with you.
It
guys.
made you care.
You feel like you're in the trenches with them.
I really like that scene at the end there that you're talking about, because it just shows her seeing the good in the
and then the way that Trevor did it, he didn't do it to the point where it was like so cheesy, like I'm a hero.
Where he made like some sort of quick remark or something in this before. No, there was a moment where he's like, I'm about to die.
Exactly.
And there's a serious
That's
moment.
what I'm saying. That was great.
That was great acting on Chris Pine's
at the point
part,
where
man.
it's like, you're a human being. What are you gonna say? This is the end, and you just kind of look back and
I keep expecting him to like make some sort of snide remark or something, but it's like, no, he's just in the moment, like he's coming to terms with it. Like, I'm about to go. Like, I'm about to go right now.
Sitting there holding the gun, just taking the deep breaths and stuff.
Like,
oh gosh, that was just
that was everything.
It was a tearjerker. It was a tearjerker moment, and they really worked.
Every time she did a really good job, like when she was portraying like grief. She did a really good job portraying.
Yeah,
grief.
it seemed genuine.
And maybe it's because she is in the military. She's seen friends get hurt and stuff like that. I don't know. But I don't know. She convinced me that she was hurting every time she had one of those moments, and it helped me relate to her.
Maybe she did maybe she was recalling that.
I think it's definitely one of the best no screams ever.
No screams.
Yeah, no.
No.
Yeah.
Their Darth Vader clip in there.
Well, I mean, just the anguish of like you're under all this like sheet.
You're fighting a god and he's crushing you and you can't do anything to save your friend. And
Watch
it's
your
like,
loved one die.
Like,
like,
when your mentor's dying, you know, I mean,
And I
you
thought
can't
it was
really
also-
say words. You're just like, ah.
I thought it was also incredibly genuine when she finally does recall what he said. And I thought it was also incredibly genuine that you hear him say, "It has to be me. It has to be me. I can save today, but you can save the world."
Yes.
That was
That
such
like
a
that
great
was such a great
editing.
line. That was such a great
I
line.
love where they let you be privy to that moment in the movie, that it wasn't chronological, that it was, yeah, you get to feel all of that, but then you really get to feel it when it's revealed, kind of the ending words that he left her with. It's just like, oh,
It's like,
geez.
yeah.
The watch.
Yeah, the watch when he places the,
Yeah,
the
like-
watch in her hand.
yeah,
the first
exactly.
thing that they
It's
ever
been-
talked about together. So it's like,
Exactly.
yeah, and he left it with her.
Exactly. I've been through this. My father went through hell and back with this watch.
Yeah.
He hid it in the one place he knew he could hide it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, every single time I see a watch, I get that vibe from.
Oh,
This is a very special
It's
watch.
a very special watch.
Oh.
It tells time.
Look,
Son, it was inside of me for over.
my father did a
3
lot to
years.
get this watch. Okay, he just did a lot to get this watch to me. All right.
Yes.
Why does it smell like this?
Don't worry about that.
Okay.
got
But,
its own special stank.
What?
Hold up my cake watch.
Oh my god!
Damn.
Isn't this supposed to be a rescue mission? Okay.
I don't know. Maybe she's got some Stockholm syndrome now.
Uh,
But all in all, y'all, I'm gonna say my rating for this film was I cannot fucking believe I'm saying this for a DC movie. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10.
Woo! Yeah.
I'll give it an 8. I really enjoyed this. This is hopefully the first of many good DC films.
I'm gonna hang in there with him. I'm gonna go 8.5. Really,
Whoa.
close to a 9, so that's good.
I'm gonna say a 9.8
Oh.
because I'm worth it.
You
Because
feel
you're
pretty empowered over there, aren't you?
Yes.
Can tell.
She did.
She really wanted to. She did a
push.
push-up. She's
Well,
thinking of doing another
I-
one.
Oh, I might. Like
She might do another one.
right now. Maybe
Oh,
not.
whoa.
There's ants.
From the snacks that you didn't eat.
The only reason I cannot give it more is just because of sentimental reasons. I just don't have the sentimental love that I wish I did for these
I don't think
characters.
we're not fans
I
of Linda
know.
Carter series either.
That's
But it's like I
actually
get it. I get
why
what you're saying.
I gave it a higher thing is because I appreciate it for it being its own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it for being a song. I never collected the book.
We never.
besides Perez.
No one here really read the Wonder Woman comics either. So
Beside Perez, and that was it.
I don't know. I wish I had more of the emotional feel. I guess it's because it's like I know that's what they're going for, and I feel like I don't live up to their expectations. That's so weird.
I'm gonna tell you,
No, but that says a lot that they can make you care for a character that you maybe didn't follow when you were younger, but you still like it.
And I can be 100% honest with you. If you know Wonder Woman, they've changed her so much that you
you
didn't.
can't.
have-
Really, there's not really a
It's
straight up
like
continuity.
it would be like said. I mean, they did if they did a great Hawkman movie.
Yeah.
It'd just be like which version?
They've
Where
got
is
several.
He? What
there
is
are
he
several
now?
different Wonder Woman.
You know what I mean? So
iterations.
there's several different Wonder Woman, several different Hawkmen.
But what would your overall rating be?
I think I'd have to give it an 8. And the only reason I'd have to give it an 8 and not something better is just because the emotional, I don't have it, you know.
She's the Russian judge.
Yeah, I am the Russian judge. I am.
But all in all, it sounds like this movie was not only passable, it was a fucking great film. Everything about it, the action, the dialogue, the acting was on point. DC, it would have been nice for you and Warner Brothers to start this off, back with Man of Steel and started doing that shit a whole lot earlier. It'll be nice if you keep it up with Justice League. I won't hold my breath on that shit. I won't hold my breath on that one.
Man, look, the scene with the scene. I checked out on just. I mean, I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm not gonna. Be one of those guys,
when they're turning
but-
Aquaman into a fucking biker, I kind of
It's
have no
even
hope for
worse.
that.
He's
What do you
somewhat
mean
of a
by that?
biker.
What are you
He's
talking
somewhat of a biker and a surfer. Because this is what happened when he's on Batman's car and he jumps up in the air to attack those parademons. I'm like, man.
I'm sorry, you
think
kind of lost me with
that
the whole, it's a bat costume. I dig it.
Yeah, like that type of thing. And then he jumps on the car, And man, bro, I was done. I was like,
all right, man.
I give
so
it to
we're
the
gonna,
kids and the fanboys.
We're about to overcompensate like fucking crazy with Aquaman because everybody always called him the unpopular character, so we have to do a bunch of stuff to make him seem cool. I'm waiting for them to give him a Harley with a mounted chain gun on it.
Well, I mean, you've already made him Namor, so what else are you gonna do?
Look, Aquaman is only allowed to drive watercraft vehicles. Otherwise, this is stupid. What are you doing?
Or a giant seahorse.
What are you doing, Aquaman?
Right.
Or a giant seahorse.
I want to see him riding a freaking hammerhead with lasers into the horizon. Something.
Sharks with lasers.
Make me feel like the ocean is badass. Can you? Can you do something? I mean,
Have him summon Cthulhu.
I mean,
Have him summon Cthulhu or a kraken. Have him summon a kraken.
Something.
Cthulhu is aqua based. Cthulhu is an aqua based creature. He's an old god, but he's still aqua based.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Let's Adventures of Aquaman and Cthulhu. Let's do this.
I think that would be awesome. I think that would be excellent.
Oh, good old Cthulhu. That's always like you.
Aquaman versus Pacific, whatever those giant monster things.
Pacific Rim.
Is that it?
Pacific Rim is what
Yeah,
you think
yeah. Fight those monsters.
You're-
That'd be awesome.
of. Anyway.
Finishing on a that was just a long pause.
All right,
We
bud.
did talk about the pause.
I'm breaking you out of here. We gotta go.
All right.
So.
But overall, guys, those were our thoughts on the Wonder Woman movie. We loved it, so I think you guys actually will too. But another episode of Critical Comics. This is Corey, master of all four elements.
Jonathan Crane, the master of fear.
Fred Freeze, a.k.a. Doom.
Here with our two special guests.
Hey, I'm P.
I'm Bug, and we're from
P-Bug
P-Bug Play.
Oh, hey, holy crap. We play some, videos and games and junk on YouTube.
Some
sometimes.
videos and games. They're completely separate.
Make of it what you will, but we're funny sometimes, and women, and play games, so that's hot, I guess. Get in there, look at it.
Yeah, you can get
The games.
to it.
The memes.
You probably can't find much of me anymore on there, so just don't even bother.
Well, yeah.
You can
Anymore?
find it.
What? Anymore?
Do
What?
bother.
No, do bother.
You can find it at pbug.com. It takes you straight to our YouTube page.
And this has been another episode of Critical Comics. We will catch you folks in the next time. Peace.
Well, I'm an equalizer, known to be graphic. I clear static, breaking up traffic. Move while I enter the groove. I'm on top and happy to prove to whack MCs who claim to be better than. No way, I'm frankly more clever than all of you. Each and every one, my son. Pay close attention. I'll take your brain to another dimension. Hold it, mold it, shape it. You got a knife? Yes, I wanna scrape it up and down, sideways, anywhere I can. Be rude to you, but I'll rap and be crude to you and eat up. Toy ducks I beat up. I am the oven your brains I wanna heat up. Mega, supersonic degrees. I come around roasting MCs with fire to burn the toy liar. Raw meat, turn the flame higher. Cook it like a fish, I hook it. For any beat, it's time that I took it right, correctly to the top. With the rhythm and as your head bop, I'm hyped for the critical.